Every child is born with curiosity. They ask questions, imagine worlds that don't yet exist, and dream without limits. But somewhere along the way, that curiosity begins to fade. Not because children stop dreaming, but because the tools that feed their imagination are slowly replaced. Stories are replaced with screens, picture books are replaced with distractions, and the quiet moments where a child meets a book are replaced with noise. Yet, every great mind, every visionary leader, every thoughtful adult once sat with a book, listening to a story, asking questions, and discovering new worlds one page at a time. Books have always been more than paper and ink. They are doors, they are teachers, they are companions that shape how a child sees the world and themselves. When we give a child a book, we are not just teaching them to read, we are actually teaching them to think, to feel, to imagine, and to believe. And so today on Reading Room, we pause to ask an all-important question. What happens when children read? And what happens when they don't? Good day, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Reading Room right here on Freedom Square TV. My name is Lillian Ezinwa, and over the past 2 weeks, we've talked about New Year, new mindset, and how reading shapes our future, and of course, how books can help redefine our lives. So today, we're shifting the focus to the foundation of it all, which of course is children. So our topic for today is reading and children, raising young readers. I'll take it again. Reading and children, raising young readers. And because the future we are shaping begins with the minds we are nurturing today, reading actually plays a crucial role in a child's development. And that's because it helps children build language, imagination, confidence, and critical thinking skills. Now, let me tell you, when children read, they don't just learn words, right? They also learn values. They learn emotions and how to understand the world around them. A child who reads early is more likely to communicate better. They tend to perform well academically and grow into a confident adult. In today's world, many children are surrounded by screens. And when I say screens, I mean our phones, tablets, and television. So while technology has its benefits, it has also reduced children's interest in books. Sadly, some children see reading only as a school punishment or exam requirement, not as something enjoyable. But reading should be fun, don't you think so? It should be engaging, and it should be part of everyday life, not something forced only in the classroom. And that's the essence of this program. Parents, guardians, and caregivers, we play the biggest role in building a child's reading culture. Children learn more from what they see than from what they are told. So if a child sees an adult reading, the child becomes curious. You see them asking questions like they want to know what's inside the book you're reading and why you're so engrossed in it. Right? They want to know, so why are you reading this book? Is this book interesting? Okay, tell me more about this book. Tell us the story. You get children, you hear them ask these questions. So raising young readers involves making books a daily, accessible part of life from infancy, focusing on engagement over performance. Now, I've seen pregnant women who read, and they read aloud, they read stories. They tend to be watching cartoon, They are just there. Any children like things, you see them doing that. They go to where children are, play with children. And if you notice, I don't know, but if you notice, when these children are birthed, there's this kind of attitude that they tend to develop, even as toddlers. So there are key strategies that you can adopt for raising young readers. And one of such is you start early and read daily. Yes. So you could begin by reading to infants to build familiarity with books, okay? Treating it as a daily routine rather than just a bedtime activity. I know some families, the only time they read stories is during bedtime. No. So make it a daily routine. Don't make it only in the night. No, it could be in the morning while you're preparing them to go to school. You could just get a storybook and read one short story for them. Yeah, that could help as well. Okay, so make books accessible. Ensure that children can easily reach and hold books, including interactive books with textures for babies. We know that once you give them the book, the next place they put the book is inside their mouth, right? So get books that has this texture for babies, right? Then read aloud with expression. Use different voices. Okay, when it's time for question, you use the question voice, right? Okay, when it's time to mimic maybe an animal sound, you also make it mild. Ask questions to make stories engaging and interactive. You could also create a reading culture. So model behavior by reading your own books as parents, as caregivers, okay, as teachers. Read your own books, magazines or newspapers, showing that reading is a valued activity. I know a lot of us don't buy magazines or newspapers anymore because everything is on our phone. But please, make it a duty. Cultivate that habit. Buy one. Okay? Let children choose. Allow the children to pick their own books. Take them to the book stand. Let them pick their own books. Books which encourages autonomy and interest. Then please also visit the library. When last did you visit the library? Been a long time, maybe when you were in school. Please, parents, visit the library. Take them along with you. Utilize local libraries for regular story time and to discover new books as well. Okay? And that's where we're coming. So if you would love for us to set up a library in your home, in your school, in your community, in your office, a number will be displayed on the screen, right? So you can call us with that number or send a WhatsApp message and we'll get back to you. So the next step is engage in conversations. Discuss stories, characters, and themes to build comprehension and vocabulary. The next one is please limit screen time. Okay? Limit it. Reduce screen time to foster more in-depth engagement with books. You should actually have a timetable in your house. The time for screen and the time to sleep and the time to hold on to our books. So, limit screen time. Okay? So if you just tuned in, this is Reading Room right here on Freedom Square TV. And before we go on, let me just remind you that if you would love for us to set up a library in your home, in your school, in your community, in your church, or in your office, a number is displayed on your screen. Please feel free to call that number or send a WhatsApp message. All right, back to our topic for today. There are tips for different stages, okay? Now, for your child who is between 0 to 4 years, I need you to focus on board books, okay? Focus on rhyme, focus on repetition. There are books that are known as repetition books. Focus on routine, okay? And by the time you do this consistently, continuously, you see that they get used to it. Then those that are of school age, between 5, encourage taking turns reading aloud. Okay? If it's just one child, you read, they read as well. So encourage that. Explore different genres. We have different genres of books. So explore the different genres that we have and use audiobooks. Okay, that's where your phone come in handy, or your tablet or your laptop or your desktop, whichever one you have. That's where they come in. So ensure that you use audiobooks as well. Okay, so what are the benefits of early reading? Now, the benefits of early reading are, there are too much, right? But I'm going to say a few that I know will be of helpful to everyone who will come across this particular video. So one is language development. I actually mentioned a few earlier. Language development. Daily exposure to words drastically improves literacy. That's one. Reading together also strengthens bonding and builds empathy. So the stories you share, okay, your child watches you, the way you're reading, your mannerism, the gesticulations and all that. You see them, they begin to do those things, okay? Reflex is a reflex action. You see them, they begin to act the way you're doing, okay? And it creates that bond that you have with your child, okay? So another is regular and self-selected reading is actually a strong indicator of future success in school. So the child is at home and you have formed this routine of always reading. You see them even when they get to school, even if they are not with you anymore, that habit doesn't leave them because it's something they see you do and you continuously engage them in doing that as well. So for parents, it is important to remember that it is okay to reread favorite books. It is very okay. You see Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, and all that, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's okay to reread these books. And if a child isn't enjoying a book, they can stop and choose another. Okay? So just take note of this, parents. And there are simple action that matters, and reading aloud to them, buying age-appropriate books, creating a small reading corner at home. It could be in their room, it could be in the sitting room, it could be in the dining. So just create a small reading corner for them, for yourself as well. Then limit screen time. Encourage questions and discussions about stories. So these small habits actually create lifelong readers. You never know. You see them when they get older, they tend to make reference to those stories that they read while growing up. Okay? So at this point, I would love to share with us a few practical ways to help children love reading. I know you want your child to love reading, so I'm going to share a few practical ways to help your child love reading. Okay? One is start early, even before the child can read. Start early. Read aloud. Okay? Let children choose books they enjoy. If it's whatever the story is, let them choose it. Make reading interactive and fun. Very important. Make reading interactive and fun. And the next thing is praise efforts, not perfection. So once they make that effort, even if they don't get the words correctly, praise them. Say, oh, good job. You did well, okay? But you could do better, right? Then turn reading into a daily routine. I need you to remember this, please. Take note of this. If it's possible, let it sink. Write it on a piece of paper, place it somewhere. Now, the goal is not to raise perfect readers. No. Our goal, our aim is actually to raise curious learners. People who want to learn, children who want to learn, children who want to get information. That's our goal. Okay? So, as we wrap up today's episode, I need you to remember this. Children who read today become leaders tomorrow. I'll take it again. Children who read today become leaders tomorrow. So, if you want a better future, you and I must invest in our children's minds. And books are one of the best investments that we can make. Okay? So if you would love for us to set up a library at your school, community, home or office, or you want to get books, okay, you could call or send a WhatsApp message to this number. The number is 0803 714 5231. 0803 714 5231. My name is Lillian Ezinwa, and this has been Reading Room right here on Freedom Square TV. Until next time, keep reading, keep nurturing young minds, and keep building the future one book at a time. Thank you.